Hey, this is Annrai, founder of ReachUp, your cold email agency. We book sales calls directly on your agenda with people who want to buy your services or your products so you guys spend less time on lead gen and more time actually speaking to potential customers. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of a case study, a cold email case study we had with a finance company for whom we booked two meetings under 24 hours of launching the campaign. So I'm going to show you the script we use, so the actual message inside of the campaigns, how we targeted the people, and basically every type of little detail you should know to make the most out of your cold email campaigns. So that being said, let's get over it. So to give you more details about the results, we actually got 6 positive replies within the first few hours of launching the campaigns. We booked 2 of these meetings without 24 hours. One of the main reasons why we got such good results is because they're offers. So the message we have inside of the cold email was really good, which made people and incentivized them to actually book a call. So a bit more detail about our client before we go into the specific. They're a finance company, so a private equity firm. Basically, what they do is they acquire business, so they either buy all of the business or they inject equity and take shares of the business to basically find companies who are already doing well and potentially grow them with even bigger evaluation to make more money out of them. I think so. I'm not an expert on the subject. I think they do specialize on a few industries. Concerning the target, so they want to target companies who make roughly over 1 million a year, US based, and basically they work with us because they just need to have more volume, more conversation with these businesses, as they already have a bunch of referrals, etc. But actually, cold email is a really good way to drive more traction with these type of companies. So companies like VC, PE firms, etc., who simply have a really good offer and a big like a big ocean and a big volume of people they can contact, and they just need a mechanism to reach out to more of these people. So let's go a bit more in the, actually, let's jump over some results. So I think this campaign was launched on the 18th. So if we check from the 18th on the 19th, which is a 24-hour time frame, we can see here 7 interested people, about 1,000 person contacted, and if we go on the day before, we really see that nothing was sent. So this really started on the 18th, like I said in the video. Now regarding targeting, so like they told us, they want to go about like revenue size, and a lot of our clients want to target companies with a certain revenue. Although you will find that all of these tools, SalesNav, Apollo, whatever you're using, they don't actually, or they usually don't have revenue filters. So you want to simply go at it at a head counts basically as a indication of their revenue, which is not going to be like 100% accurate, but it's usually pretty reliable. As anyway, when you're targeting a company and you're saying we want a company making 1 million revenue and plus, it's usually even this indicator. It's not like 100% this applies to our services or not, so it should be fine. So let's say we want to take 1 million as a revenue. So 1, 2, 3, a million. And then we want to divide this by the headcount, which is usually 100K. So this means we want to be looking at companies with 10 employees or more. So what you want to do here, we're targeting founders. So you can go over to Apollo. It's free. You can just create your lead as like this. So management level, owner, founder, C-suites, like this. I don't simply only include like by job title because I feel we're excluding people. If I put founder, it will give me a list of founder, but it will probably it's like exclude all the people who are founders but don't call themselves as founders, because this is checking the job titles based on LinkedIn. So if I simply put founder, we're missing probably president, CEO, all of these other like synonym of these words. Where you see is here when I filter by management level, it's finding me all of these people with the different job titles. So we can go like this, and department, we just want to do C-suite, so exec, founder. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So we have 3 million person. Now we want to take people with valid email address, and we want to put these people up. We want to go, actually, yeah, we want to do 10 employees and more, and let's stop at companies. So we said 5 million, 10 million, maybe 50 million is a good sweet spot. And then we can check location. We said United States. So we want to filter people who are based in the United States, and also which the company is based in the United States, just to make sure we only talk to qualified people. And this is pretty much it. So in 30 seconds, we have a list of around 200K people and which if we have like one positive replies for every 300% contacted, that's already a lot of conversation we can have. So this was how would you probably build your lead list. Now, if you want to scrape this, you can simply like copy paste, go to like an exporter like Ample Leads, and simply if I sign in, I'm not sure I have all the credentials. Paste it, paste it here. We want, let's say 20K per soon. When you launch new campaigns, I would recommend launching minimum 5 to 10,000 person just to have enough volume to know whether your offer is working or not, because below this, you're going to do micro adjustments for nothing. And then I would start scraping, right? So this is how you would find your lead list. So this is how you contact the person. Now, in terms of like scripting, etc. So if I go back quickly to a little deck, etc. So if we go back to the script, I'm going to show you what we use for this. And this is why I say offer is really king, because you're going to see the copy is pretty simple. So we're simply saying we're currently looking to invest in businesses in the industry space and came across company. Would you be interested for a quick evaluation of your business? No strings attached. This is pretty much the copy. So if I preview on the actual targets, it looks like, hey, we're currently interested in investing in business in the digital marketing space and came across creative. Would you be open for a quick review of your business? No strings attached. So we're looking at the company's website and then we're identifying what their company is. For this, we're using Clay. We're not using the industry based on the variables that Apollo gives us because we want it to be super accurate. And here's a good example of the offer is good itself, even if we didn't have personalization. But here we're really adding personalization, not for the sake of messing around with personalization, but just because it sounds a bit more smooth. It looks like we did a bit of research and it's not too hard. It's not like, hey, I noticed you posted LinkedIn post about X, Y, and Z. Would you be interested in having a coffee? Which makes no sense. Here, it actually makes sense. It's like, hey, I was on your website. Notice this is your industry, so it feels a bit personal. It doesn't feel like a cold email. And then open to a quick conversation. How we're doing this, super simple. So we have this Clay table. We have all of all of the website here. And I'm not sure if I have the prompt. Normalize company name, industry. Let's see. I didn't make this, someone from our team did, but let's just see how the prompt looks. Context, you're an AI-powered web researcher, blah, blah, blah. So you see this is pretty nicely structured. But yeah, basically what it's saying is to make it nice. And yeah, and I always like to give an example because I want it to be like super specific. I wanted to say for the industry, like let's say our company, we do cold email. I don't want to say like, hey, notice like I had a look on your company and notice you're in the marketing space agency, which would be good, but I want it to be super specific saying notice you're in the cold email industry, which really sounds like personalized. And I know that if someone is using the industry variable from Apollo or from like LinkedIn Sales Lab, it doesn't say cold email. So it's a bit better. So let's take an example. I think I saw something that was pretty cool. HubSpot consulting, lead generation, founder-led marketing. So these are pretty specific. Just make the email a bit nicer. So yeah, this is pretty much for the copy how it works. So why this is well, like basically if we break down like why is this working really well, it's simply because of the offer. Like if you think about it, if you receive a cold email saying like, hey, I can have a quick evaluation of your business, no strings attached, and I'll let you know if we can acquire or not. In my case, I don't spend any money. Everything is free for me. Worst case scenario, I lose 10 minutes. Best case scenario, I sell my business and potentially like come out with a few million of euros, which is really interesting for the prospect. And this is really why offer is king. So I would always recommend if sales or if acquisition is a big pain point or just something you want to improve, which always should be, you always want to think of how you could potentially change your offer so it's more compatible with cold or with acquisition, because this is like a really high ROI task. And I would even say, let's take our example. We have a cold email agency, and let's say we used to sell only a retainer. All of our contracts is based on retainer. Our company salary is based on like company employee salary is based on retainer. I don't know, like our entire website, all of our pricing is based on retainer. But let's say we know for a fact, or we want to try like saying that we work on performance and acquisition. And let's say when we do campaigns, when we do A/B tests, hey, we can book you more companies, like we can book you more sales meeting and you only pay us 2K a month, or we can say, hey, we can book you meetings on performance basis and you only pay us for only for every sales appointment we book you. Let's say this like outperforms 10 times this. Well, it's going to be more interesting to just run this offer and simply change your back end operation. Because if you have a cold acquisition that is running, then obviously you're making a bunch of money, etc. And in the end, anyway, like let's say in our case, um, like to make it super simple, we have the choice between making like a 2K retainer, which is going to drop our conversation, like our sales conversion rate because it's a bit harder to sell, or we can do 300 per qualified call. But we know on average our clients gets over 8 call per month. Where like anyway, we're going to make like between 2 and 3K a month by selling on performance basis, which is even higher than the retainer. So that doesn't mean that you're even losing money or whatever if you know how to qualify your clients. Changing your offer is a really smart move, I would say, at least in the start, depending on your type of client. And so, yeah, this is why this client works so well. If I go back to it and we check some of the latest replies, so this guy, and this is people we didn't even answer, like it's Christmas, so people are even still answering around Christmas. What type of investment you make? Thanks for a note. What are the key elements? People asking question. Thanks for reaching out before scheduling time. Hey Scott, let's get that scheduled in. I'm interested. So like people are really interested into this. Sure, grab a time next week. Yes, I would be interested. Uh, like, this is not, no, no, no. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Scott, this for now. So yeah, people are like really interested in this offer. Email on Christmas. He's sure we can have a chat. We might be interesting. So yeah, this is pretty crazy that we didn't even answer to all of these people. Even on Christmas, we were getting like five positive replies. So it's working really well. Yeah, so we'll just go back into over the 6 positive replies, 24 hours, 100% outbound. And so if we just make a quick recap of why this works pretty well, it's really high offer. Then obviously we have good deliverability, and offer is just going to help with everything because if you have a good offer, your deliverability is going to be even easier because less person is going to report you as spam. A lot of person are going to answer you, which is showing Google and Outlook like this is a normal email. Because if you have, I would say it's even better than having like just plain type of offer where you blast a lot of volume and people don't really answer you because it's not annoying, but it's not good either. It's even better. It's even better than this case. And yeah, so really attractive offer. We have somewhat some personalization, which is making the even more smooth. And then easy targeting, nothing complex. So I would say like this is really like the good type of client to work with because it's have a good offer. It doesn't require like any crazy type of stuff. And for them, obviously, there's going to be some qualification to do because we're going to get a lot of positive replies with people who are not probably the best fits. But if we have a strong process around this, it would be interesting. So if you would like us to have a quick conversation to see whether we could do this to your business, whether it applies or not, and book calls on performance basis for you, simply use the first link in the description and we can book a free first outbound audit of your business. That being said, speak soon.